Gemini, justice comes with everything and breaks a plan armed against you. But heaven is watching. There are moments when the air feels heavier than usual, when the conversations around you carry undercurrents that your intuition picks up long before your mind can explain. You, born under the sign of the divine messenger, the celestial twin, have always danced between two worlds, logic and intuition, word and silence, truth and illusion. But now, something deeper is stirring. A hidden plan, woven quietly behind your back, has begun to unravel, not by chance, but by divine design. If you felt unusually unsettled lately, if your dreams have been restless or your thoughts more reflective, it's because your spirit knows. A revelation is near. What has been done in the shadows is about to be brought into the light, and those who thought they could deceive you will face a justice far beyond anything they ever imagined. This isn't just about revenge or retribution. It's about cosmic restoration. The universe has been watching quietly, patiently, recording every silent betrayal, every stolen moment of peace, and every time your generous nature was exploited. And now, Gemini, justice is moving. A sacred force is stepping forward on your behalf, and nothing can stop what is already in motion. If you feel this message deep in your soul, if your heart has been quietly whispering that something was off, you're not imagining it. You're awakening. And what you're about to hear might change everything. If this resonates, gently tap like, share this message with someone who needs it, and subscribe to our Esoteric Wisdom channel so you never miss the guidance that's meant to reach you exactly when you need it most. Gate 1. The hidden saboteur in Gemini's life. Gemini, your world is one of movement, of minds at race, ideas that flicker like stars, and perceptions that shift faster than others can keep up. You are gifted with the ability to hold two truths in your hands at once, to see both sides of a story, to understand contradiction without being overwhelmed by it. But there's a shadow side to this gift. Sometimes, your openness becomes a door for manipulation. Your curiosity can become a vulnerability. And those who envy your light often try to dim it not by confronting you, but by deceiving you. Someone in your orbit has long understood your strengths, and also your blind spots. This person didn't storm into your life. No, they slipped in gently. They came dressed as a companion, a confidant, maybe even as a support of your dreams. They made you feel seen, heard, understood. But beneath their mask, there was calculation. This wasn't love. It wasn't loyalty. It was envy cloaked in admiration. And slowly, subtly, they began to turn your world off course. Perhaps it began with small things, missed opportunities that felt like coincidence. A conversation that left you second-guessing your worth. A sudden shift in someone else's opinion of you that didn't quite make sense. Gemini, you try to explain it away. You always do. You give people the benefit of the doubt because you know how many perspectives there are. But sometimes your ability to rationalize becomes a trap because what was happening wasn't random. It was intentional. It was sabotage. Let's say, for example, you were about to launch a project, one that felt truly aligned with your higher calling. And somehow, out of nowhere, doubt crept in. Not your doubt, theirs. Master's concern. Are you sure this is the right timing? What if people don't understand your message? You trusted their voice, so you paused. But in that pause, the energy shifted. The window closed, and you felt inexplicably, as if life was slipping through your fingers. This is how the sabotage operated. Not with obvious attacks, but with whispers, redirections, gentle nudges that stole your fire. The one who orchestrated this has likely been in your life for some time. They've watched you rise. They've seen your influence grow. And at first, they may have cheered for you, but when your light began to shine brighter than theirs, something shifted in them. They could not match your authenticity. So instead, they sought to undermine it. Gemini, your ability to speak truth, to inspire, to connect ideas that others miss. It's a sacred gift. But when someone sees your voice as a threat, they will try to twist your words, distort your meaning, or make you doubt your clarity. They will try to isolate you from your own brilliance. And what makes this particularly painful is that they may have done it while still pretending to be on your side. There's a special kind of betrayal that comes not from enemies, but from those who once held your trust. But heaven was watching. Every time they whispered about you behind your back. Every time they planted doubt in another's mind. Every time they smiled in your face while hoping for your downfall. It was recorded, not by human ears, but by the divine. The justice that is coming for them isn't your burden to carry. You don't need to prove anything, explain yourself, or retaliate. What was built on lies will collapse on its own. And here's where your healing begins, Gemini. The signs are already showing. People who once doubted you are starting to ask questions. Allies who were silent are beginning to speak. Truths are surfacing, sometimes through dreams, sometimes through slip-ups, sometimes through divine timing that exposes what was hidden. You may even find yourself remembering strange moments, times you felt off, uncertain, unusually drained. Those weren't random. Those were moments your spirit was being manipulated, your energy siphoned. It's okay to feel angry. It's okay to feel foolish. But do not stay in shame. You were never naive. You were generous. You were never weak. You were trusting. And your heart, which always sought the best in others, was exploited by someone who never deserved to be that close. What's most remarkable is what happens next. As the saboteur is revealed, you begin to reclaim your energy. Your voice becomes sharper, your mind clearer. Your path, once fogged by confusion, begins to reemerge with startling clarity. And you start to see a pattern that stretches back further than you imagined. This wasn't the first time someone tried to dim your light, but this will be the last time they succeed. Because now, Gemini, you are awake. And once a Gemini awakens to the truth, nothing can deceive them again. Gate 2, the silent rearrangement of destiny. Gemini, when the universe begins to intervene on your behalf, it doesn't always begin with thunder. Sometimes it starts with silence, an odd pause in conversation, a delay that seems inconvenient, but in retrospect, saved you from a trap, a missed message that kept you from attending a meeting where your downfall was being discussed. These moments, which you once dismissed as chance or poor timing, are now revealing themselves as divine redirections, subtle acts of protection disguised as everyday detours. The cosmic forces surrounding you have seen everything, every false smile, every veiled insult wrapped in a compliment, every moment someone tried to speak over your ideas, twist your meaning, or take credit for your brilliance. The Gemini mind is fast, fluid, and imaginative, but it is also porous. You absorb the moods, the words, the unspoken signals of others, often before even realizing it. So when someone began to target you subtly, undermining your confidence, manipulating your decisions, you internalized confusion. You wondered if maybe you were the problem. Maybe you were being too sensitive. Maybe you really were making mistakes. But now, clarity is coming in waves. You're beginning to realize that those accidents weren't accidental, that those concerns expressed by others were never about your well-being, but about control. And you're starting to feel the shift. The same projects that were blocked are slowly finding momentum again. The people who once ignored your voice are suddenly curious about what you have to say. The fog is lifting. And the reason is simple. The energy that was blocking your path is being dismantled. This is divine justice in motion. But unlike human justice, which demands proof, witnesses, and declarations, cosmic justice works through energy. It corrects imbalance by realigning what has been distorted. And it does so with eerie precision. The person who lied about you will be confronted with a truth they cannot outrun. The one who manipulated others to turn against you will find themselves isolated by the same confusion they created. If they stole your ideas, they'll find their own inspiration running dry. The law of mirrors is in full effect now. Every intention they sent toward you is echoing back to them. You may already feel the shift in your body. Your sleep is becoming lighter, as if your spirit is staying awake to witness what's unfolding. Your dreams may carry messages, symbols, or memories that lead you back to hidden truths. Your skin may tingle when someone's name is mentioned, not from anxiety, but because your soul is awakening to their role in your story. This is not paranoia. This is perception, and it is one of your greatest powers. But Gemini, here is where you must be careful. With justice unfolding, there may be a temptation to call out the person who hurt you, to reveal the truth yourself. But don't. The truth is already moving. The stars are already aligning. Your role is to observe, to stay grounded, and protect your energy, because what's coming is bigger than any confrontation you could create. It's not just about vindication. It's about restoration. And when the universe restores, it multiplies. For example, a Gemini woman I once knew was betrayed by someone she considered a mentor. He had secretly blocked her from professional opportunities while pretending to advocate for her. For months, she couldn't understand why doors kept closing despite her talent and effort. But then, slowly, the curtain began to lift. A colleague accidentally forwarded her an email that revealed the truth. A client she thought was lost returned unexpectedly and told her exactly what had been said behind her back. And just like that, the illusion shattered. Within a year, she had not only reclaimed her space, she had surpassed it. The very people who once excluded her were now seeking her advice. But the greatest gift wasn't professional success. It was the clarity she gained. She no longer second-guessed herself. Her boundaries became stronger. Her intuition became her compass. And most importantly, she never again gave her trust to someone who hadn't earned it. This is the kind of turn that is beginning in your life now. Gemini, you are not being punished for being trusting. You are being prepared to be wiser with your love, your words, and your presence. The universe doesn't want you to shut down. It wants you to see clearly. Because when you can see, you can choose. And when you choose with awareness, your power becomes unshakable. The winds are shifting. The current is turning. And while others may still try to cling to their illusions, you're already moving into a new realm of clarity. Your words are gaining strength again. Your ideas are landing where they need to land. And the person who tried to block you is slowly discovering what happens when someone messes with a soul who is divinely protected. So breathe. Don't rush. Don't seek revenge. Let the silence work in your favor. Let the patterns unfold. Let truth speak through time. Because it is. And you, Gemini, are being recentered in your rightful place. Not just as a survivor of sabotage, but as the voice of truth, reborn through clarity, carrying a message no one can silence again. Gate 3. Truth unveiled by the invisible protectors. Gemini. When the universe intervenes to reveal the truth, it does so with breathtaking precision and undeniable clarity. But what's fascinating about cosmic justice is how quietly it moves, how subtly it orchestrates events that ultimately illuminate every hidden corner. You see, your experience is not simply about identifying who betrayed you or how they did it. It's about understanding why your intuition whispered warnings, even when your rational mind argued otherwise. It's about reclaiming trust, not just in others, but in yourself, in your innate guidance system, your intuitive compass. In the days ahead, you will notice peculiar synchronicities, a message that reaches you unexpectedly, carrying information that seems trivial at first but later proves essential, a dream that vividly portrays scenes you could never consciously know, a chance encounter with someone who inadvertently confirms your deepest suspicions. These aren't coincidences. They are messages, signs, the language through which invisible protectors communicate with you. And they are working tirelessly, Gemini, to ensure that truth rises clearly and undeniably to the surface. Consider the story of a Gemini man I once counseled. Brilliantly creative, socially magnetic, seemingly unstoppable. Yet he always seemed to encounter unexpected setbacks. Partnerships mysteriously dissolved. Promising ventures stalled inexplicably. He assumed it was simply bad luck, or perhaps flaws in his character. But the truth was far more complex and far more enlightening. One evening, he dreamt vividly of a conversation between two colleagues he deeply trusted. The details were so specific he woke unsettled, yet rationalized it as mere anxiety. Weeks later, during a casual interaction, one of those colleagues repeated a phrase from the dream verbatim. He felt a chill. His intuitive vision was being confirmed. Later, through a series of improbable but perfectly timed events, undeniable evidence emerged that these colleagues had been intentionally undermining his work behind closed doors. At first, the Gemini man was shaken, disillusioned. But soon after, a strange peace descended upon him, a clarity that felt both profound and healing. Why? Because he realized his intuitive senses had always been accurate. His spirit had always known the truth. And now, finally seeing this confirmed, he understood something essential. He had always been protected. Those delays that frustrated him had actually been blessings, saving him from deeper harm. Those missed opportunities were not lost. They were being safeguarded for a more authentic moment, free from sabotage. Gemini, your life is experiencing a similar realignment. The hidden protectors around you, angels, guides, your higher self, are carefully orchestrating revelations that, while initially shocking, are ultimately healing. They are ensuring the truth emerges not in anger or bitterness, but in perfect timing, with lessons attached. They are doing this gently, methodically, so you can fully absorb and understand what's been happening without being overwhelmed. This divine protection is crucial because it rebuilds your relationship with trust itself. Once you understand that your intuition never misled you, that it was a guiding force rather than paranoia, you'll begin to move through the world differently. You will speak your truth confidently, knowing it is backed by invisible but powerful support. You will discern quickly who is authentic and who isn't. And most importantly, you'll realize that you never have to silence your voice or diminish your light to accommodate anyone else again. What's unfolding now is more than justice. It's empowerment. Each truth that comes to light fortifies your spiritual strength. Each synchronicity confirms you're on the right path. Each revelation clears away distortions that previously clouded your vision. And as you move forward, you'll find your path becoming smoother, your interactions clearer, your decisions easier to make. The invisible threads guiding your journey will no longer feel intangible. They will become unmistakably present, visible in every meaningful coincidence and timely intervention. Perhaps the most beautiful aspect of this process is recognizing how deeply and constantly you've been protected. Even when you felt alone, confused, misunderstood, there are forces around you gently steering you back toward clarity. There were angels disguised as strangers, protectors disguised as chance meetings, and guides whispering through your dreams. Your sense of isolation was never the full reality. It was simply a momentary illusion before a profound reconnection to your true source of strength. Now, as these truths continue emerging, you may witness some uncomfortable shifts. Friendships based on false premises may crumble. Work relationships built on manipulation might unravel. Initially, this may feel destabilizing. But soon, you'll notice the relief of authenticity. Your social circles will reorganize around people genuinely aligned with your values. Professional opportunities that truly resonate with your spirit will become available. Everything superficial or dishonest is gradually being swept away, not as punishment, but as protection. This period is designed to refine your path. Gemini, aligning your external reality with your internal truth. It's meant to restore your trust in your perception and honor the clarity of your insights. Your protectors are working diligently to ensure you no longer second-guess yourself, no longer dismiss your intuitive nudges. Instead, you'll celebrate them, follow them, knowing they come from a source deeply committed to your highest good. And as you become attuned to these subtle yet powerful interventions, you'll feel less anxious and more certain, less confused and more confident, less doubtful and more decisive. Because the truth emerging now is not simply about identifying others' betrayals. It's about deeply reconnecting with the essence of who you are, intuitive, insightful, divinely protected, and infinitely capable. Gemini, trust this invisible support. Trust the process of revelation and healing that is guiding you home to yourself. You are awakening to a deeper understanding of your own inner wisdom. And this, above all else, is what makes this moment so incredibly powerful. Gate 4, the reclamation of your true power. Gemini, as truth continues to unfold around you, a remarkable transformation begins within. It is not merely the external reality shifting, but an internal recalibration of your energy, your beliefs, and ultimately your destiny. After witnessing hidden betrayals exposed and recognizing the invisible forces that have protected you all along, you now stand at the threshold of reclaiming your true power, a power you might have unknowingly surrendered over time. This reclamation isn't about revenge or vindication. It's about reconnecting fully with your authentic self, the true essence of your soul. For years, perhaps, your generous heart, open mind, and vibrant spirit have drawn others to you like moths to a flame. Many of these relationships have been enriching, meaningful, deeply supportive. But inevitably, there have also been those drawn to your brilliance with less pure intentions. Those who recognized your openness and mistook it for vulnerability. Those who envied your ease in communication, your creativity, your charisma, and sought ways to subtly undermine it. Without even realizing it, you began to dim your light to keep the peace, to avoid friction, to fit into molds created by others. You made yourself smaller, quieter, more manageable, because conflict has never truly suited your spirit. But Gemini, you were never meant to dim your brilliance. You were never meant to play a role crafted by another's insecurity. And now, as justice moves powerfully in your favor, you feel the stirring deep inside your being. The energy that was once drained by manipulation, doubt, and subtle sabotage is returning to you, clearer and stronger than before. Your voice, once silenced or questioned, is regaining its strength, depth, and resonance. Let me tell you a story about a Gemini woman named Alina. Alina was a talented writer, effortlessly crafting narratives that touched hearts and inspired minds. Her words carried healing, clarity, and immense power. But she trusted a mentor who secretly felt threatened by her potential. This mentor subtly discouraged her from pursuing bigger dreams, planting seeds of doubt whenever Alina felt ready to step into her greatness. Over time, Alina began to question her own talents. She found herself procrastinating, hesitating to share her work, feeling uncertain about her purpose. Yet, at the peak of her confusion, a remarkable shift occurred. A new acquaintance, someone completely outside her usual circle, accidentally revealed the mentor's true feelings in passing. At first, Alina was stunned, hurt, disoriented. But soon afterward, clarity arrived like a lightning bolt. She realized that she had been giving her power away, allowing another person's insecurities to define her worth and limit her potential. From that moment forward, Alina began writing again, but with newfound vigor, authenticity, and freedom. She reclaimed her voice, and with it, her power. Soon, her work reached greater heights than ever before. Her words resonated more deeply. Her spirit soared. Gemini, you too are experiencing a similar reclamation. You are reconnecting with parts of yourself that have been subtly eroded by others' manipulations. As your hidden sabotage is revealed and the universe rebalances itself, a new sense of empowerment flows through you. Suddenly, you understand the past with clarity that frees you from shame and confusion. You see how your compassion, your empathy, your willingness to trust were never weaknesses but immense strengths, gifts misused by others but now fully reclaimed by you. This reclamation process isn't without discomfort. You may feel anger, grief, or disappointment as you reflect upon moments where your instincts were ignored or your boundaries overstepped. Honor these feelings, but don't dwell too long in regret. These emotions are your teachers, guiding you gently back to yourself. They remind you that your intuition was never mistaken, only overshadowed. And now, as you reconnect fully with this inner voice, you feel a surge of strength and certainty that is unlike anything you felt before. Your relationships will naturally shift as you reclaim your power. Those who genuinely value and respect you will celebrate your growth and stand by your side. Others who thrived on your diminished self-esteem may distance themselves. And this is not a loss. It's liberation. It creates space for healthier, more authentic connections to emerge. Friendships based on mutual respect, creativity, and genuine support will flourish now. Professional relationships founded on integrity and clear intentions will strengthen and multiply. Gemini, as you reclaim your true power, you're also reclaiming your capacity to shape your own story. You recognize clearly that you are not a passive recipient of fate, but an active co-creator with the universe. Your words become intentional. Your actions become aligned. Your energy becomes magnetic. Opportunities that once eluded you will now arrive effortlessly. Not because you chase them, but because your authentic energy naturally attracts abundance and harmony. During this powerful transition, remember to nurture yourself deeply. Engage in practices that anchor you in your strength and clarity. Journaling your thoughts, meditating to reconnect with your intuition, spending time in nature to ground your energy, speaking openly with trusted confidants who reflect your worth back to you. Surround yourself with beauty, positivity, and inspiration. This is an indulgence. It's essential nourishment for your reclaimed soul. Finally, understand this deeply. Your power, once fully reclaimed, is unbreakable. No future manipulations will blindside you. No false promises will sway your intuition. Your inner compass is now aligned and precise. Your experiences have sharpened your discernment, strengthened your boundaries, and deepened your connection with the invisible protectors who guide you. Gemini, your reclaimed power will not only transform your life, it will become a beacon of hope and inspiration for others. You will naturally guide those who have experienced similar betrayals toward their own healing and empowerment. Your story of justice, reclamation, and spiritual rebirth will resonate widely, awakening courage and clarity in many hearts. As you stand now in the glow of this restored power, remember that your spirit was always whole. It was never truly broken, never truly diminished. It was simply waiting patiently for this moment of sacred realignment. You are a messenger, Gemini, a divine bridge between shadow and light, confusion and clarity, illusion and truth. And now, having reclaimed your power, you are ready to step into this role fully, confidently, and unshakably. The universe has returned to you what was always yours. Your voice, your intuition, your purpose. Trust this reclaimed strength. Trust yourself deeply. Because from this moment forward, Gemini, you will never again forget who you truly are. Gate 5, the sacred rewards of energetic alignment. Gemini, once your power has been reclaimed and your voice realigned with truth, something extraordinary begins to unfold. Not only around you, but within you. This isn't just a return to balance. It is a graduation into a higher dimension of self-awareness, a sacred reward that arrives when you choose integrity over illusion, clarity over comfort, and authenticity over attachment. For the universe does not simply reward action, it responds to energetic alignment. And your energy, now purified through fire and revelation, has become unmistakably magnetic to miracles. You may begin to notice that doors open with unexpected ease. People who once seemed distant or disinterested now seek your presence, your guidance, your insight. Projects that felt blocked for months or even years suddenly gain traction with speed and synchronicity that defies logic. But this isn't coincidence. It's the effect of energetic justice rippling through your life. The karmic debts of others have been accounted for, and now your soul is receiving its long-awaited compensation. Not just in material form, but in emotional richness, spiritual peace, and mental clarity. A Gemini artist I once worked with had endured years of quiet sabotage from a former collaborator who envied her originality. Every time she tried to launch something new, strange delays occurred. Funding was withdrawn, venues canceled, emails went unanswered. She thought she was cursed with bad timing. But after a powerful lunar eclipse illuminated the truth and she cut energetic ties with this collaborator, her entire field shifted. Within 3 months, she had a publisher, international invitations, and a new support system that honored her vision instead of draining it. She didn't do anything dramatically different, but her energy had become aligned with protection, truth, and divine order. That changed everything. This is exactly what's happening for you now, Gemini. The reward isn't simply external success. It's the sacred restoration of your inner knowing. You begin to trust your instincts without needing validation. You stop over-explaining yourself to people who never deserved your vulnerability. You no longer feel the urge to win over those who once misunderstood you. There's a peace that rises, not passive, but empowered. You realize that your energy is a currency, and you will no longer invest it in bankrupt dynamics. With this new clarity, you begin to attract people who mirror your truth. Soul-aligned friendships emerge. Conversations that nourish, collaborations that uplift, silences that feel safe. You are no longer performing to be accepted. You are simply being, and the right people recognize you because of that. The universe begins to send you mirrors that reflect your light back to you, not through flattery, but through resonance. This is the gift of alignment. You also become a vessel for healing. Others may come to you, not because you have answers, but because your presence feels safe. Your ability to hold both darkness and light, both grief and hope, becomes a rare medicine in a world that often fears depth. Without trying, you begin to guide others out of their own illusions, not as a savior, but as a reminder that they, too, can reclaim their voice. And as you embody this wisdom, the past no longer holds the same weight. You begin to rewrite the narrative. The betrayals? They no longer define you. They refined you. The sabotage? It didn't destroy you. It redirected you. The delays? They weren't punishments. They were divine recalibrations. Everything makes sense now, not in a linear way, but in a spiritual way. You see that the path was always leading you here, to this moment of truth, clarity, and profound self-possession. One of the most beautiful aspects of this energetic shift is the quiet confidence that settles in your spirit. You no longer need to argue for your worth. You no longer chase closure from people who never offered you clarity. You no longer shrink in the presence of power, because you recognize that you carry it within you now. You no longer fear exposure, because your truth is your shield. You also begin to see how deeply heaven was involved in your journey all along. Every delay, every strange coincidence, every time someone ghosted you or turned away at the last minute, it wasn't rejection, it was divine redirection. The universe didn't want you entangled in webs that weren't meant for you. Your protectors were keeping you out of rooms where your name was being twisted, out of relationships where your gifts would have been taken for granted, out of timelines where your soul would have been silenced. Gemini, can you feel it? This moment in time, this clearing of energy, this restoration of flow. It isn't just the end of something. It's the sacred beginning of a new chapter, one written by your own hand, guided by your higher self. And because you passed the fire and not only survived but awakened, this chapter will be built on truth, sovereignty, and joy. What comes next will astound you. There will be moments of such grace that you will cry, not from sadness, but from the beauty of being finally seen, heard, and supported in the way you always deserved. There will be opportunities so aligned that you will wonder why you ever doubted. There will be peace so deep it feels like home. And through it all, you will know that justice wasn't just about what was done to you. It was about remembering who you've always been. The twin energy of Gemini, often misunderstood as duality, is in truth sacred balance. And now, your light and shadow have made peace. Your wounds have become wisdom. Your confusion has become clarity. You are whole. You are ready. And the universe, Gemini, is ready to give you everything you were meant to receive. Conclusion, a new chapter written in truth. Gemini, you walked through a long corridor of silence, subtle betrayals, and spiritual tests. But what you've uncovered in the process is far greater than any pain you've endured. You've discovered the truth, not just the truth about others, but the deeper truth about yourself, that you are resilient, that you are watched over, that your heart, though bruised, was never broken, that your intuition, long ignored, is in fact your greatest guide, and that when aligned with truth, your energy becomes unstoppable. Justice has not only revealed what was hidden, it has released you. The cords of manipulation, the residue of sabotage, the internalized guilt for trusting too easily, they're all dissolving, and in their place rises a clear, steady flame of self-respect, discernment, and divine protection. You no longer carry the burden of proving your worth. You now live from the knowing that you were always worthy. The shift ahead of you is unlike anything you've experienced before. It's not about revenge or regaining lost ground. It's about rising into a higher version of yourself, one that no longer fears betrayal, because it has learned to listen to the whispers of spirit, one that no longer silences its truth, because it's felt the power of being heard by the universe, one that no longer waits for justice, because it knows that justice flows through you when you choose yourself. Gemini, you are not here to dim your light. You are not here to be everyone's mirror. You are here to speak, to illuminate, to question, to provoke, to heal, and to reveal. And now, with your power reclaimed and your spirit restored, you are ready to do all that and more. Let this be the season where you don't just receive what was taken from you, but more. Let it be the season where peace feels deeper, where connection feels real, where inspiration flows freely again. Let this be the season where you live fully aligned to the truth you always knew and now trust. If this message found its way into your heart, let it anchor you. You were never alone in this journey, and you are not alone now. Drop a comment below if you've ever sensed that something was working against you, but now you see it was preparing you. Your voice may help another Gemini feel less alone. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the Esoteric Wisdom channel. The journey doesn't end here. In fact, it's only just beginning, and what's coming next is something you'll want to be ready for.